Atapu, assalamu alaikum, namaste, Harun Nefer. This is Qesankh Peru with another exciting video for you. In this video, we're going to talk about how to control the outcome of events. But before I do that, I want you to hit the like button on this video. If this is your first time to my channel, welcome. Hit the subscribe button to get notifications on when I go live and when I upload recorded videos. Now, if you want to know more about my spiritual teachings, I do offer free ebooks. You look at the links below, click on them, download the ebook, and you'll start reading right away. If you want to take your spiritual knowledge to the next level and beyond, become a Patreon supporter. You can do so for as little as $1, $5, or $20 per month. You can cancel anytime, and you'll get exclusive access to instructional videos on the esoteric, on the spiritual, videos that teach you how to meditate, videos that will teach you how to contact the ancestors or invoke spirits for your protection, or how to do a proper ritual, how to meditate, proper breathing exercises, how to do self-hypnosis to stop overeating or to quit smoking, and so much more. So become a Patreon supporter today. You can cancel at any time. Last but not least, share this video with family and friends so we can get the revolution started. So, Harun Nefer, Nechem. That's what Heather would say. Sweet Nechem. So I want to talk a little bit about your powers, what you are capable of. See, we're taught in this world, this fourth dimensional plane, 3 dimensions of space, 1 of time, which are inseparable, which is what Einstein calls space-time. It's that there is the law of cause and effect, which is kind of, Ma'at's thing. And what that means basically is that they're immutable laws that don't change, can't change. And science studies these laws because they're repeatable. This is why science has a problem with the esoteric, the spiritual, because it's not duplicatable. And I can tell you why that is, meaning that some people will do a ritual and have results, others will not have results. This is why you recall the program The Secret. Many people had some results, many more had no results. So why is that? Does it mean that you don't have powers? Does it mean that spiritual stuff doesn't work? That all of this is a product of the mind? No, not actually. You have to understand you're dealing with an intelligence, and you're dealing with belief systems that change. And this intelligence is aware that you're observing it. God doesn't exist apart from the observer. So it's going to constantly change along with your belief system. So it's never going to be the same. Now, with that said, I want you to understand that you have a say in how things unfold in your life. See, the problem that we are facing is that we are a product of social engineering. We are not constructed or programmed to understand how a higher spiritual thought. We're not. We are learning it, and we're in the process of purging ourselves of the old program, the old software, to download a new software, to become awakened to a new approach and a way of doing things. And it's working, meaning that many people on the planet are coming into an understanding of their true selves. And they're seeing the trap that religion has placed them in. How can you call yourself a Christian when the religion of Christianity enslaved so many people, burnt women at the stake, slaughtered the Native Americans? This is what Christians did. So that tells us there's something within Christianity that doesn't work to transform the heart of the person. But we know that people who practice the non-Western religions have never started wars, have never massacred millions of people, because the right brain by nature seeks to align itself with all things. And it doesn't see things as separate from you, but a part of you. And it connects you with God's source. This is why Many swamis, shaman, shawomen, priests, priestesses have come into an internal awakening and experienced samadhi, nirvana, hetep, peace within. Not a peace without, not a heaven, but within. Because when you strive for that peace within, then heaven is on earth. And it's not somewhere out there in the ether. And when you go within through the right brain, you nullify the ego. So there's nothing that separates you from source. You get rid of your persona and you become all with things near and far. You experience infinite wisdom and infinite knowledge in that state. But they attempt to trap us here in this fourth dimensional plane by keeping us away from meditation, DMT, ayahuasca, and all other medicines. Because they don't want you to experience nirvana, samadhi, hetep, the state of Zen. They don't want you to experience these things because they want the planet fighting and agitating. So they highlight the left brain, which can only do what it's designed to do, which is separate, label, and define. It doesn't see how all things are one. It doesn't connect the dots in that sense, but it's not designed to do that, you see. Can you say why people are evil by nature? No, you can't. You can say they're doing what they're supposed to do is because they only look at the concrete. They only look at the physical. So they see you as a race, as a gender. Whereas if you're operating on the right brain, you see people as consciousness. You see them in an abstract sense. The concrete and the abstract. Merging the two gives you whole brain thinking. No, the problem is when you have one imposing their perspective on the world, as white people have with left brain thinking, then you have an imbalance. And then Ma'at has to call in Harukahuti to do battle. And now Haru has to defeat Set. Like, be clear, Haru comes in the form of Harukahuti when he does battle with Set. The battle is against the left brain animal Sahu nature. That's what our fight is on the planet. We're not fighting dictators. We're not fighting racism. We're not fighting fascism. We're fighting this left brain polarized thinking, which has retarded the progress of the planet and the intellectual capacity of all individuals. We are deaf, dumb, and blind. We're in a stupor state. People come along, I don't believe in that spiritual mumbo jumbo, that samadhi, nirvana stuff. I don't believe in the oracles. I don't believe in the meditation. So you don't believe in the right brain, because that's what it's there for. How do you think through one half of your brain? You must be an idiot. You must have half a brain. Because both brains have a design and purpose, and they work in conjunction. How do you understand life but not understand death? They do this to us purposely. How do you worship materialism but not the spiritual elements? We have great athletes, Michael Jordan, all these athletes. But do we celebrate those people who have achieved the highest levels of spiritual ascension? No, we do not. They're poor and impoverished. They have great wisdom. I'm trying to tell you, you have incredible powers because you have been taught all your life just to rely solely on the left brain concrete thinking. You have negated your powers. You negated your right side of your brain, the right hemisphere of the brain, in favor of looking at the world through a very skewed perspective. So you don't really see reality. You're not. You can't. Because you're seeing it through one half of the brain, the left brain. You don't have a holistic view of life. You see, The non-Western religions say this: you must experience God, not know God. See, the left hemisphere, all it does is it acquires information. The right hemisphere of the brain acquires experience. More important, you see. But they have specifically, and if you look at the works of David Icke, he talks about this, trapped us in sensory input, trapped us in 5 sense perspective. That is not reality. So you look at the law of cause and effect, and you think that it is a law that must take place in every incident, every event. And that's not true, because you haven't learned about Ma'ati, the two truths, the absolute interacting with the relative, the objective and the subjective. You can have a law, the law of cause and effect, but it doesn't have to be applied in each and every situation. Let me give you an example. I had a presentation where I was presenting a new technical platform, and we were building it, and I was presenting it to some high-level people at this company, right? And we had stayed up the entire night at the hotel. We got the kitchen table, we got our computers down, and we started working on the platform, coding it and building it. And the morning came, and we were ready for the presentation, but there was a couple of components we didn't have ready. And it was my job to present the entire platform to the committee. So let me take a step back. So we got a couple of hours of sleep. So when I went into my room, in this hotel, I laid down and I was worried. And I said, I know someone's going to ask about those components that aren't fixed yet or finished. What will I say? And I got up after making sweet love to my girl there. She was at the hotel room with me. But anyway, I digress. And I looked in the mirror. I said, Qesankh, you're a magician. What are you talking about? What will you say? And it dawned on me. As I laid back in bed, I visualized and I said to myself, they're not going to ask about those components. They're not going to ask about those components. And I kept repeating it to myself. And I visualized a presentation where they did not ask about those components. And then the next day, a couple hours later, when we got up, we had breakfast. Everybody was worried too about them asking about it. And my account manager said, if they ask about it, just hand it over to me and I'll speak to that. I said, no, don't worry about it. They're not going to ask. He's like, how can you be so sure? I said, don't worry about it. So I did the presentation, the entire presentation. And lo and behold, they never asked about those components. Even though I spoke about them, I slipped up a couple of times and mentioned them, but no one asked about them. They were more concerned with other things. And this power is readily accessible to anyone. Another case in point, I'm a crazy ass driver. I have to admit that. I am nuts when it comes to driving, meaning I'm a speed demon. I'm always wrecking my car. It has new scratches here and there. And I hit something. I think it was a shopping cart or something, really messed the car up, right? So I took it in to get repairs, and I knew it was going to be expensive. But I said to myself, don't worry about it. Whatever happens, it will work out in your favor. A mechanic called, and he actually checked something he wasn't supposed to check. And then he said, oh, by the way, you've got this dent and these scratches. We should have fixed those the first time, so we fixed them for you. I apologize, no charge. They messed up, though. They did on a couple of things. So I want you to understand there's no need for worry. There's no need for concern when you have this power. Now, there are limitations, but I'm going to take you through how this works so you can use it in your life. Another instance is I'd be talking with people and I may say something and I may worry about how they will take it after I leave. And I always remind myself that if I focus on how I want them to act, how I want them to interpret what I said, then they will respond in accordance with that. This is a Ma'at principle of optimism. Ma'at is very optimistic. Whenever you're faced with a situation that may seem daunting, a large bill comes, you mess your car up and have to take it to get it repaired, and you're worried about the bill. You have a report due at work, you have a presentation due at work, and you're worried about certain things. Maybe you didn't complete your report and you hand it into the professor, and you're worried about the grade. The next time that happens, I want you to focus on this. Now, you may have heard the law of attraction, the secret. People talk about this, and for a number of people, it doesn't work. And I'm going to tell you why it doesn't work. I'm going to reveal that secret to you of why it doesn't work, and I'm going to tell you why it's going to work for you. You see, we're a slave to Cartesian logic, and that means basically that we only see one-to-one correlation, apple to apples, orange to oranges. So we're stuck within those parameters, and we can't see outside of that. However, when you adapt the Ma'at thinking, the optimistic thinking, that is not predicated on the details, Sebek is details, Ma'at is the big picture, then the game changes. See, people in the secret, the law of attraction, they're focusing on the details. They're focusing on how something has to transpire. If my car is, has a problem, or if I have a family member who is sick and they have to go to the hospital, I don't want to hear the bad news that there may need to be an operation and stuff like that. We tend to focus using that Cartesian logic. Like like for example, if like my family member went to the hospital, had an operation, and the bill comes, I'm worried that it's going to be a lot. And then you say, no, the law of attraction says it won't be a lot. It won't be a lot. Where's an envelope here? Well, anyway, and you open it up, and it's the hospital bill is $100,000. And you're like, this law of attraction stuff doesn't work. Because you focused on a specific way that the universe had to grant you your request. You can't do that. You've got to give the universe leeway as to how it can resolve things for you. Many women be like, I want a man like Qesankh. Well, the universe can't duplicate me. And it can't. So the universe will bring you a good man who's kind to you, who's loving to you. Not as pretty as me, but still a good man. You cannot restrain or put parameters around how the universe can grant you your request. There's certain specific things you may want, yes, but in a general sense, when that hospital bill comes and it's $100,000, don't lose faith. Go, the universe will address this in whichever way is best for me. And then you get the call and they say, yes, it's a $100,000 bill, but you got 50 years to pay it. Or there's a discount program, which happened in my case, where they slash it dramatically. You understand what I'm saying? Because you're only focused on seeing how it has to transpire in a certain way. You have sabotaged your power. Don't do that. Here's a statement you must use, and you must say it to yourself. And the reason you repeat these things is to bring it from the left brain to the right brain. Put the left brain to sleep, because the left brain is where the doubt crops up. When you put that to sleep, the right brain will accept and get impregnated with the concept. The universe will bring it to me in the best way possible. The universe will fulfill this in the best way possible. That's what you must say. And if you say that, it speeds up the process of the universe granting your request, because you haven't put a limitation on that. The universe is now free to operate in a way that best suits bringing you your wish and your desire. Even if you're faced with the fact that you believe, which is incorrect. That's Sebek belief. That's incorrect. You believe it hasn't been fulfilled because you've got the bill from the hospital for $100,000. And you were hoping it was only $10,000 maybe. So you believe the universe didn't fulfill your wish, but no. You sabotaged it by putting parameters around it saying that the bill had to be $10,000. The universe couldn't do that in the time frame necessary and in the space-time continuum. The universe couldn't do it that way. But if you were to still hold and stay the course, and even though you're seeing the bill for $100,000, say, the universe is going to fulfill my wish in the best way possible. And if you still hold to that, you may get a call, oh, Biden just has some new program that's going to erase hospital bills. Yes. You see, this man was behind bars on death row, Damien. So Damien Echols used his time to practice his magical skills while in solitary confinement. And he admits he asked in the wrong way for the universe. He says you have to be very specific about how you ask for something, because the universe will grant you that. And he realized that he had to really watch how he framed his sentences and what he asked for. And then, lo and behold, he asked the universe to release him. He was never going to get paroled. He was on death row without the possibility for parole. So what happened? He did his magic, and he had his wife do his magic with him. He set it up. He called her. They were doing it on certain days, even though they were miles apart. Suddenly, a new law was introduced, and he qualified for that law. And all he had to do was just what was it? What was it exactly? I forgot what it was exactly. No contest or something. No con. Yes, it was. I'm sorry, but it was something to where he didn't have to admit to doing it, but had to still plead guilty in a way, and they would release him. It was a weird law, but it still allowed him to walk free, to get out of there. And it was amazing because they just passed this. Now, if Damien were focused on visualizing his attorney, getting the papers together, going for an appeal, seeing the judge, he'd have been doing that for the rest of his life. But because he appealed to the universe and asked the universe to release him in whichever way is best for him, he didn't think about the way that he had to be released. He just asked the universe to do it. And this new law suddenly came about. I mean, he still is now convicted. You know, he's still convicted, but he's free. He lives in New York now. And Damien, I apologize if I didn't get your entire story correct. Sorry. I read the book about almost like 2 years ago. So, but the fact of the matter is, stop putting conditions on the universe to bring you what you want. Just say, I know the universe will bring it to me in the best way possible, or the best way that benefits me or my person. No conditions placed on that. Now the universe is free to do its job. And it will come quicker for you, much quicker. Tell the universe just to bring you a man that's caring and respectful and loving and won't cheat on you. And then visualize yourself with a person. Don't get too specific. Don't make demands that he has to be 6'4" and all of that. Then you start getting yourself into trouble and you start sabotaging it. Now, here's the last bit of info that is a secret, the real secret here. You must have freedom from outcome. One of my first teachers taught me this. Freedom from outcome. He emphasized it. He kept saying it. This means stop expecting it so much. Stop worrying about it so much. In that hotel room, after I had rocked my girl's world and she felt the earth shake under her feet, and then I was done, the stallion that I am. But anyway, I digress. I just told myself that they won't ask about those components. And I didn't worry. And then after I repeated it several times, I went to sleep for a couple of hours and didn't worry about it and let it go to the universe. I'm going to answer that question. That's a very important question. Can you elaborate on that, Kenneth? What if you're not attracted? What does that mean exactly? Can you please elaborate on that? Because I don't understand what you're trying to say. So there's that period where you just must let it go and let the universe bring it to you. If you're constantly worried, oh, when is the universe going to manifest it? When is it going to come? That's sabotaging it because you don't truly believe that your power works. And when I say the universe, I'm talking about your power. Don't think that there's something out there that's granting you your wish. What? I'm still confused at what you're saying. Attracted to the person. Attracted to what person? What are you talking about? I'm mystified. Can you write it out in an entire sentence what you're trying to say? Does anybody else know what he's saying? Yvette? Rashad? Osiris? You guys know what he's talking about? Because I'm sorry. I don't get it. Slick God King, do you know what he's talking about? So don't get caught up in specifics. That's sebek. Be ma'at, optimistic, and look at the whole picture. Or look at the bigger picture, I should say, 20th hexagram of the I-ching. When you do those two things, when you tell the universe to grant it to you in the best way possible or the way that benefits you the most, and then have freedom from outcome, then you have the secret to activate your power. This is where the people who practice the law of attraction, the secret, go wrong. They're too detailed and specific on what they want, and they don't have freedom from outcome. That's what sabotages them. Well, that's not possible, because if you're going to manifest something, you will be attracted to it because that's what you're asking for. The universe is not going to grant you. Thank you, Courtney, by the way. I'm responding to Courtney. The universe is not going to manifest a mate that you're not attracted to. That would make no sense. That's not granting you your wish. You know what I mean? So the universe is going to give you something. It's going to give you what you want, what you ask for. Unless you have some dark things going on in your shadow self and you cause the wrong thing to manifest, which is that's a probability that can happen. And it often happens. You can manifest a mate that's physically abusive to you. And that is your subconsciousness trying to teach you a lesson or trying to awaken you to the fact that you have some things you need to deal with. So its only recourse is to manifest a mate that's going to cause you difficulty in your life. I'm not saying physically abusive, but will cause you some difficulties. This is why a lot of men and women are caught in a cycle of picking the same mate over and over again. They manifest the same mate over and over again because they have not purged themselves of those inner issues so that the right mate can come along. But that's okay. That's part of the spiritual growing process, because that's the God consciousness within you, Osir, trying to help you work those things out so it can free you to bring the right mate to you, if that's making sense. You know what I mean? Sometimes the universe won't make you the millionaire that you should be right away. Sometimes it'll give you a little bit of money here and there, and it's trying to communicate a message to you about how you feel about money. And when you get that feeling aligned properly, then it manifests or opens the way to manifest $1 million for you. So sometimes it takes those baby steps or those steps in the direction to get your thinking correct. Because remember, it's all about belief system. If you don't believe in what I'm telling you, it's not going to work. It's as simple as that. You must allow your person to believe it wholeheartedly, or it's a futile exercise. You know what I mean? You have to go into it believing in it wholeheartedly, trusting that it's going to work. If I laid down on that bed and didn't believe two things: one, that I can rock my girl's world, to manifest a situation where they wouldn't ask about those questions, then if I didn't believe in those two things, hey, whatever, it wouldn't work. I had to commit to it. I had to believe it. When the account executive said if they ask about those components, turn it over to me, I'm like, no, they won't ask about it. If I had said yes, I wouldn't. I didn't. That means I didn't commit to it. I didn't believe it. And this is again where we sabotage ourselves. You can't be, as my teacher used to say, half a gangster. You're either all 100% magician or you're not. Stop with the wavering. You know what I mean? It doesn't work. The way I go through life is this. I go, you, Mr. Mailman, Mr. Bus Driver, Mr. Rock Star, you cute Latina, you don't exist. All of you don't exist because this is my reality. I manifest you. And if I go up to you and I say, kiss my butt, and you get angry at me, I don't care because I know you don't exist. And then if I will it, I can remove you from my reality. You ever have friends that just disappear out of your life? This is why I am confident I can wake up tomorrow morning, have a thought in my mind, a sentence, and walk down the street and approach a total stranger and talk to them, and they will repeat my sentence back. Because I have 100% faith and belief that these are avatars that I create. They don't really exist. They are what we would call as NPPs, non-principal players in the matrix. And you have to get to that level for your magic to be fully realized, that you must say to yourself, nothing truly exists. There is no reality. There is no outside world. There is no girlfriend. There is no boyfriend. There is nothing there except you experiencing everything as consciousness. You don't even exist. You don't even have a physical body. You think you have a physical body, but you do not. And let me tell you something to get you straight. All of you betray yourself when you come off with this nonsense, or I'm not tall enough, I'm not attractive enough, I'm not light-skinned enough, I'm not dark-skinned enough. That is bull. And this is where Michael Jackson messed up. The world responds to your belief system. If you tell yourself you are the sexiest thing on earth, every man will want you, every woman will want you, as long as you believe it, because it's your reality. You manifest what you want. You will manifest people who are attracted to you. That is the secret of it. So get off this thing where I'm not rich enough to get that woman. You know what? I was with models, right? These two hot models. They had the breast implants, the booty implants, all of that, right? And we're chilling. I got to show that video one day. And I actually, and my attorney asked me, what world do you live in? I said, what do you mean? He says, how do you get these women? I said, I never thought you couldn't get it. You couldn't get them. Who said you couldn't get them? When I got into project management, I didn't know anything. I knew nothing. But no one told me I couldn't get into that field. And I worked my magic and I got into it. Stop accepting the false belief systems predicated by the media elite of cause and effect. That, oh, well, you needed to go and study years and years digital project management before you can get into that field. I'm like, no, I have magic. I can just jump right in there and figure it out and meditate. They have done studies that meditation increases your IQ, lowers your blood pressure, has you controlling the physical world. So why don't we all do it? Why isn't that done in school? Because the ruling elite doesn't want it to be done. So Andrew, the purging is of the old belief system, the old ideas of cause and effect. The old ideas that you can't have something unless you do X, Y, and Z. You're supposed to be a maverick. Who said you have to obey those rules? Who said so? You go to apply to a prestigious university and they say, oh, I'm sorry, we're not accepting any more applications. All the students for this semester or year have been accepted. There's no more room. And then you walk away going, okay, okay. You're not supposed to accept that. You're a magician. You're not supposed to accept that. You're supposed to fill that application out, walk back, and still hand it in. You know, when I was producing a film, I called up this production company, right? And I forgot who the actress was. I forgot. She was in Charlie's Angels, right? And I said, can I submit my script for consideration? Can she read it? And the man goes, she's not going to read it. We're not accepting scripts. Then I said, can I submit my script for consideration so she can read it? He says, I just told you she's not going to read it. We're not accepting scripts. I said, can I submit my script for consideration? And he says, send the script. Then I called back and I said, can I meet with her? No, you can't meet with her. Can I meet with her? No, you can't meet with her. She doesn't meet people or meet new writers. I'm sorry. Can I meet with her? Would you consider it? No, she's not going to meet you. Can I meet with her? He said, you're persistent, aren't you? Well, can I meet with her? He says, all right, tomorrow, noon lunch. No kidding. You control reality. By the way, I never made that meeting because I was in New York, he was in LA, and I did not expect him to say tomorrow. I couldn't get a flight that fast. I was like, oh, so I never had a meeting. But I want you to understand how you manipulate reality, how you control reality. You understand? Rid yourself of that old way of thinking and break the walls down. You see, let me let you another little secret. I don't know if I should tell you this, though. I wanted to get in to this company, but it was closed off. Now you have 6% of what you can influence in this reality. Everything else is a mass collective agreement. So I knew that I could never get into this company, right? So picked up my phone. I called 2 close magicians. I said, listen, I need your help. Can we 3 do a ritual together? 666. The more people do ritual with you, the more powerful it becomes. I said, let's all do a ritual so I can get into this company. And they were like, cool, let's do it. You've got to be creative in your thinking as a magician. You want to make 100,000 a year? Stop thinking that it's difficult. Stop accepting the fact that it can be easy and you can do it without a problem. So I want you to keep this in mind about how extraordinary you are, how powerful you are. And you have to stop accepting the Western rules because they're put in place to stifle your power, to remove your power from you. I'm starting to purge myself of friends who are not going to accept my way of life. If they make fun of it, if they're critical of me, I'll move on. I'll manifest new friends. But I'm not giving this up. There's too much power here. You understand? And if you learn to master it, you have a grand and spectacular life. You will. But you've got to commit to it. Does that make sense? You got to be all in. You can't be, oh, maybe that Qesankh has a point here and there, but I don't know. I don't know. You know. So classic keys, I definitely understand. What do you have? Do you have arthritis or rheumatoid arthritis? Either way, it's through meditation. So we have the ability to heal our bodies through trance, which we haven't been taught because it's been kept from us. That secret's been kept from us, of course. So they don't tell you that you have the ability to go into alternate state of consciousness and heal your body. And also arthritis is inflammation, so you can deal with that through various different natural foods, you know, the anti-inflammatory foods. So you should start looking into stuff like that. And there is a drug called hydrocolinic, I think it's called, that is for some types of rheumatoid arthritis that are really helping. So anyway, consult your doctor. But look into what I just said. Start with the meditation, deep trance meditation. Communicate with the indwelling intelligence within you, the being within you. And tell yourself that you don't have arthritis. Tell yourself to heal from the arthritis. Now this could take 6 months or so for your subconscious belief system to accept the new programming. But when it does, it will purge the body of the arthritis. But you got to be dedicated to this and meditate frequently and consistently. The same way I was telling a brother, I said, yes, you can make yourself taller. You can grow 2 inches, even though you're 45. You go into meditative trance and tell yourself to grow. We gotta take back our power. We gotta stop this. You know what I mean? Stop allowing them to hack our minds. Can everybody hit the like button, please? Just make sure we have everybody hitting the like button. I would appreciate that. Explore your power and you'll find a whole different world out there. This is Qesankh Ma'akeperu. So the Ma'at Tahudi, Ma'at is the beautiful goddess Heteru, goddess of healing. Until my next video, I'm in Ra.